Hey, it's Mike here, and today is Veganism Dead.
Of all the souls I have encountered in my travels, his was the most human.
This is something I wanted to cover because I've heard some rumblings of concern about this, but then my video editor and friend, Sandra, who's edited this video you're watching, pointed me to a tweet which is really the pinnacle of this, almost caricature of it, from a carnivore dieter saying, "R.I.P. veganism being cool, 2010 to 2024. Every vegan restaurant I know is adding meat to the menu. Every vegan I know is realizing it's a scam. Everybody cool, hot, and intelligent is eating steak, liver, and drinking raw milk." Yes, if you want to be hot, now you have to eat animal organs. And raw milk and intelligent, I'm sorry, do not go in the same sentence. Simple example, the CDC warning people to not drink raw milk with this recent bird flu outbreak. I mean, half of the cats that drank raw cow's milk that was infected died. No, this isn't something we want to mess with. And then also, just in general, from the CDC, there's an 840 times risk of infection from raw versus pasteurized cow milk. Yeah, it's raw stupidity. I have a whole video on the bird flu I just recently did, but I will cover those other topics like restaurants, etc., as well as economic trends in a bit. But I guess that's it then. You know, all of the cool and hot people have left. Veganism is officially dead. It's time to have a funeral right now. Here lies veganism, cool from 2010 to 2022. Rest in plants. Oh wait, what? I'm getting a call right now from Google Trends. It says, yeah, the search term vegan still massively dominates, say, a carnivore diet. For an example, as you can see from this chart, yeah, it's been a bit higher in the past, and we'll speculate about that, but it's still holding in there pretty strong, and it's still twice as many Google searches as it was in 2010 when it first started being cool. But this got me curious, and I searched a few things, and yeah, one diet-related movement that does appear to be on a downfall is keto. The search term keto, you can see here, has dropped by about 80% from its peak, which is wild. And it's my belief that carnivore will see a similar drop as people realize that it is, entirely founded on pseudoscience. There's no research, and, people are getting sick and quitting that as well, as I covered in my recent No Longer Carnivore diet videos video. And while we're going to the topic of restaurant closures, I have to say I've witnessed local carnivore restaurants pop up and close as well. So we have to ask, how many of these vegan restaurant closures are there? Are all the vegan restaurants just gone? Well, he's likely referring to the news that was broken about Sage, a restaurant in LA, which has been vegan for years, no longer being vegan. And looking into this story, they claim that they weren't profitable as a restaurant since before the pandemic. And that is the case that a lot of restaurants, period, closed. So, it's something that it even survived at all. And it is also just the case that it is a single person, the owner, deciding to no longer be vegan and then switching the restaurant as well.
I'm Chef Molly, and it has been my honor to serve the vegan community in Los Angeles for the past 13 years. We will be shifting from an all plant-based menu to a high quality protein from only the highest quality, most integrity regenerative farms.
A better question to ask would be, has the total interest in eating vegan restaurant food gone down over the years? And just a Google trend search for vegan restaurants shows that it is, holding in quite strong there as well. Yeah, we saw a pretty dramatic dip there, as with any restaurants during the panny, but yeah, it's definitely not dead. And I would argue that this is actually a better metric of actual vegan population than, say, overall Google searches, because this represents the amount of people that are actually looking to eat vegan food somewhere on any given day, as opposed to just an overall societal interest in a topic, veganism becoming popular, people searching about it, initially learning about it as well. So, maybe we had a boom of people learning about being vegan and going vegan, the type of person that would do that. And then they're just, holding strong. Some people are going off, some people are going on, and it's sort of staying flat right now, which I'd love to see it go up more. But a steady heartbeat shows that it's clearly not dead. I will say that this is all speculation in terms of the vegan population. We don't have just a nationwide vegometer clocking the total population of vegans in real time. Anyway, moving on to what could be a larger trend that people say, oh, well, everywhere is closing. You know, we can see some closures in New York as well. Oh my gosh, everything is collapsing. Well, it's also the case that the Butcher's Daughter, a vegan restaurant, is expanding in New York. We see a bunch of other vegan restaurants opening in New York as well, like this mushroom-themed one. And just in general, we can see other vegan restaurants opening in the news too. But it is the case that vegans especially are highly invested in the vegan restaurants that exist. So when one closes, it's a big deal, and vegans go out of their way to support them in general. I mean, I feel like I've personally financially propped up like at least one vegan restaurant from time to time. So if they close, especially if they're a famous one, it's gonna send shockwaves. And Hannah, who is previously on The Vegan View, said that Sage closing was sort of like mourning a death. So yeah, people are upset. And now Sage is gonna be like Sage Regenerative Bistro or something like that, pushing that buzzword of regenerative, which I've talked about before and probably need to do an updated video on, is largely, greenwashing and ignoring the massive methane output of cattle and other ruminants. And another actually valid reason I think that people might be concerned that veganism is like dead or dying is, the economic aspect as well as the products that are coming and going. And you might have seen on your shelves, that vegan section might have been a little bit bigger last year, a couple years ago. And I think there are a few reasons for that. First reason is the larger economic picture where we had this sort of vegan product gold rush where companies like Beyond Meat and Oatly were promising just like these massive sales and opening with these stocks that were just way overvalued, and then people thinking that they could just make a quick buck off of it. And I would have loved to have seen all of these vegan products succeed, but oftentimes it was just like a large meat company, even like Tyson, making a vegan alternative, trying to squeeze some money out, throwing, initially really cheap plant-based products, and then ratcheting up the price as a specialty item, which of course makes it way more expensive than the animal product that it's an alternative for, and then makes veganism look expensive, which is annoying. But my point is that economically, a few companies as well as the just like investment community absolutely jumped the gun on how many people were actually going to be buying these products. Unfortunately, I wish it wasn't true, but everybody just threw in all of their chips, and we didn't eat all of those chips. But that in no way should be mistaken for dying. It's just like something is at this current rate, and people are just saying, no, it's gonna go like that. But then the actual growth rate doesn't match that, not equivalent to dying. And then I wanna get to this idea of we're seeing a major cultural resistance toward veganism. And part of that, I believe, has to do with its success and how it's a threat to all these different things. I mean, also, whether you say it's veganism or not, we have this cultured meat, aka lab-grown meat, being legalized by the FDA, also leading to a backlash. We have now Alabama and Florida banning it, making it actually a criminal act to sell or produce it in those states. So much for a free market, huh? And another example of this is, meat execs making jokes about killing one of the CEOs of a plant-based company, the guy who made Just Mayo a couple years back. But yeah, back to that lab-grown meat stuff. I don't know if it is something that the industry itself, for example, the Cattlemen's Association of Florida or whatever's down there, pressuring this to happen, or if whether it's just a cultural battle here. No, there's clear evidence that these cattle organizations did support the legislation. I don't know if there was direct money contributed or not with a quick search on that, but it's clearly also that culture war from Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, quote, "Take your fake lab-grown meat elsewhere," actually saying that Florida's fighting back against the global elite's plan to force the world to eat meat grown in a petri dish or bugs to achieve their authoritarian goals. Yeah, because it's not authoritarian to block alternative meat products at all. And he's citing the global elite when the meat industry is worth $1 trillion globally, as you can see from the Statista chart. But it's funny how he hasn't outlawed lab-grown high-heeled cowboy boots for men. Coincidence? Anyway, enough of low blows. The point is, vegan products and veganism is a major threat to these industries, And well, yeah, it's not growing as fast or as much as it could. You know, it's still taking a cultural hold. It's being normalized, which could pave the way for more people shifting to it in the future. And these industries are clearly threatened. I wouldn't be surprised if the carnivore diet, which that original tweeter guy follows clearly, is something that to a degree is being funded in the background by the meat industry. We've seen this happen before with the dairy industry and the egg industry, like paying bloggers. In the end, I would say that veganism is holding strong. It's not dying. It's not growing as much as it has in the past and as much as I would like to see it grow, but I'm gonna still keep on chugging. And it's also worth mentioning that the people that wanna see veganism die are also those people who are made uncomfortable by the existence of vegans, especially ones that are buff enough to flip a car. That French vegan strongwoman, first woman to flip a car in France the other day, that's a little bit of a threat and exposes how they don't need to be harming these animals. You know, maybe it makes them feel a little bit bad and they want veganism to die. Oh yeah, veganism isn't dying anytime soon.
Never, ever. Go ahead, Chief.
Keto diet is definitely on a trend there. Carnivore is a type of keto diet, so I'm predicting that, yeah, we're gonna see all sorts of issues, even more and more than we're already seeing with these people on this diet. And then, you know, it's gonna kabloop, it's gonna blop, and it needs to because it's horrible for animals, the environment, etc., and all of that, as I've done several videos on. Anyway, let me know down below what you think about all of this. And of course, feel free to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.